Hey, thank you for joining on air. Excuse me, this is not on air. Thank you for joining the daily check-in with Russell and Miss Tiffany. This is Monday, and normally we do have Miss Tiffany on, but normally it was like did it
Early.
like at 9 o'clock. We were
Yeah.
normally doing earlier, so it kind of threw me off for a minute. But today is Monday. I was running late because I was getting back into town, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get back earlier than I had anticipated. And I said, we still have time to do this. So I reached out to Miss Tiffany yesterday, and she like, okay, yeah, we could do it, as if she had anything else to do anyway, right? So, so
Your
anyway, this is
intros get worse and worse each week. I mean, really, really, Russell.
so this is the daily check-in.
Oh my gosh.
Daily check-in with Russell and guest host Miss Tiffany. So yeah, so here we are. So it is 11/11 on Monday, the June 22nd. So hey, well, I was just talking to Tiffany offline. I won't tell you all the stuff that we were talking about because she's not doing well right now. But well enough to do this thing.
Okay. Don't say that. People are gonna think I'm sick or tired.
No. She's not. Well, she's sick,
Well.
but not sick as in she didn't have a cold or flu or anything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's
There's
move
some
on,
other
Russell.
things going. There's some other things, and one day I'll have to share it with you. So anyway, so we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. In fact, I see my sister over there. Hey, Marsha. She's over there on IG. So anyway, okay. So what's going on, Miss Tiffany? I'm sorry. What's going on?
I know. Hey, so yeah, happy Monday. Yeah, busy Monday. And then happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the
yeah.
up there.
My my dad is actually not where he needed to be to receive my present, so they were already gone on the road. So,
well, maybe you should send things earlier.
And I thought I was doing so good. I was like, yep, it's gonna be there right in time, and they left. So, yeah. I didn't really do much this weekend though. It was a lot going on in Chicago this weekend. I was downtown briefly, but we had Juneteenth weekend. We had the Obama Center that opened this weekend. All the celebrities. So I didn't see one celebrity because they were all over there. It was Black Yacht Weekend, which no, I did not get on a single boat.
Good, because it turned into Black Tragedy Weekend.
Oh my gosh, right? Oh my goodness, I'd be the one, right? Yeah. Well, and funny enough, it rained all day yesterday, so I imagine. Interesting enough, Black Yacht Weekend is geared towards out of town people. It's not really for people that live here. So a lot of people traveled in, and it rained all day yesterday. So
wow.
I'm sure, damper on their plans. But I say that to say there was quite a lot of activity this weekend in Chicago.
A lot of activity.
Okay,
very good. Did you do anything as far as activities are concerned? You just stayed in. Is that what you did?
I did.
Okay.
Especially yesterday. Yesterday it just rained all day long. All day.
Okay.
Morning to night.
Okay.
But what I did do before that, we talked, right? I was able to do a site visit, and I actually went to another event at an interesting hotel that's outside of downtown Chicago. So that was great. And that was fun.
Do we know the name of this hotel, or is it going to be?
So I did. So I visited 2 hotels last week. One was the Sofitel.
Sofitel. I love the Sofitel brand.
You know what? And I told him that.
They're part of Accor. They're part of the Accor group.
I told the salesperson Andrew, and I said, "Oh, I haven't met. He loves the Sofitel." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, I believe. I remember the last time we talked about Sofitel was in Panama." Oh, he went to Panama. He did that. He's like, "Oh, I've heard that one is great." And I'm like, So you haven't been? He's like, "No, but I can't wait to go." So clearly, he was is excited about you being able to
Yes.
go
Sofitel,
to
they
Sofitel.
represented in Panama City, Panama. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But what I will say is, I see why you like the brand. And I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with it as a guest. I've gone to a few events there. I've done a few sites, but their level of service was great from the minute I walked in. And then I watched them interact with the guests checking in. You know, because I feel like people don't know we're behind the scenes. We're checking out how you do things. You know, the site tour, that's where people put their best behavior. And I think you've talked about this before.
That's true.
But you want to creep in the corner and see if they're really, you know, having that same service. So, you know, they're checking in people and they're like, hey, you know, just so you know, there was complimentary water in your room, but would you like some water to, you know, to take with you up to the room? Just little things like that, because, you know, you don't know how people are coming in and how they're traveling. And it's like, I feel like bottles of water have been this this thing where you don't see a lot, and you're thirsty, your travels, and you know, sometimes you just want some water. You go to your room and it's like $5 a bottle. You know, like that's just like the worst feeling. So you know, just something simple as that. Right? Come on.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it like that, but you're right. I
You
mean,
know,
we
just
take that bottle of water for granted. You know what I
oh
mean?
my god, and it's water. And we
Yes.
still get, you know, you're charging for water and it's not. So yeah, so that's just those little things. But yeah, I was able to book a last minute site tour with Sofitel because I was going specifically for an event that they were holding.
Also, what you did, so you were attending an event there, and you asked for like a separate little tour.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm trying to follow
a little
along.
tour. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Like,
Were they
you know,
feeding you
knock that out.
too? Were they feeding you?
So yeah, the event had food and drink. It was called Fête de Musique. So Sofitel, I mean, you know, French. It's French inspired. I don't think it's a French brand, but it's French inspired, right?
Okay, if you say so.
Well, you're the one who enjoys going to Sofitel. So.
Yeah, I went to the one in Panama. Okay.
All right.
And there's one here in LA, in Beverly Hills.
Okay. Yeah. How's that one?
It's good. I never stayed there. I've been there numerous times. I mean, service is good for the most part. And I've never been there to. Why do I go there? It's one of those places that was kind of midway between where I live and, like, say, West Hollywood, and I would stop there just to check it out because it's not necessarily deep into Beverly Hills. It's right on the outskirts of Beverly Hills and kind of still in LA. So I'll just stop because it's on the way somewhere else, and I'll just check it out. You know, maybe have a drink. I've had breakfast there before just to, you know, check it out. And no, the service is pretty good. The food was decent as I recall back then. The product is good, and they're constantly updating it, which is always a good thing. Yeah. And I find that common with most of the hotels the three Sofitel hotels I've been in, and it seems like that's the common thing where they're constantly upgrading and repairing and things like that. They don't let things get old or, you know, something like that, worn. Let's say worn. They don't let things get worn. They'll fix things almost immediately, which is good because a lot of brands don't do that. And
this is true.
Yeah, and I got some at the end of this. After you go through your things, I have a situation that
I can't wait
that occurred, but it was not a higher end hotel. But that really doesn't, to me, that doesn't matter because a hotel is a hotel, and you need to, you know, take care of it regardless of what kind of hotel it is. But we'll get through yours first.
Oh goodness! Okay.
And yeah.
Well, no, you make a good point. I like that idea, and that can even be, you know, that brand differentiator where you're talking about they are constantly keeping up with it. Because, you know, I visit some hotels and they're like, oh, we're only 10 years old, so we don't have to upgrade. But I mean, update. But I mean, 10 years, that's wear and tear.
You know what I mean? Wear and tear. Normally, it used to be 7 years, 7 to 10 years. Then every 7 to 10 years you'll underdo a renovation. That can
Yeah.
be hard goods, soft goods. That can be everything. So at
Okay.
least a refresh, 7 to 10 years.
A refresh. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you got to stay competitive. So if you know all the hotels are doing it 7 years and you're waiting 10, 12 years, you
No,
know,
you're behind. You're behind at that point.
behind.
Mhm.
And another thing too, I think a lot of times sales managers should lead with that. And, sometimes you have to justify the pricing. Okay. So, Sofitel being a certain market that's higher than maybe another hotel on your list,
Mhm.
but it includes other things, and the service is there, and they have great hotels, and I mean, not hotels, they have great dining. So and I did have some of the food, and when I tell you, I'm like, okay, I see I could put a program in here and not have an issue.
Mm.
But just certain things like that. The rooms were quite spacious, over 300 square, so about maybe almost 350 square feet. And when you're talking about downtown property, I feel like a lot of hotels get, um, they'll say, oh, well, this is a typical downtown hotel. So they'll justify their smaller rooms. Nuh-uh.
Mhm.
Like, there's certain hotels where, it's very spacious and open. And one
Mhm.
thing about the Sofitel, specifically here in Chicago, there was so much natural light coming in because they were very intentional with the windows. They had the floor to
Mm.
ceiling windows and the
Mhm.
slants and the architecture. And Chicago's big for architecture, so I mean, it seemed like that. It was just a beautiful, building. That's a hotel. It just didn't seem like just walk up high rise. So it's just a very um, spacious, beautiful, um, bright light. And listen, I'm even like thinking about it, like how like warm I felt walking in because it was so much
Ooh, like
light.
warm and fuzzy? You had like warm and
Just
fuzzies
warm,
going through your body? It was like
not
radiating through
okay.
your body?
No, not in my no. I
That's
just
what you
felt
said. You said you had warm and
it
fuzzies.
was just a warm feeling to walk in there. Very
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you
So
meant. I'm like,
not
okay.
they don't have too much, and so they're not for large events. I mean, I think they have a combined meeting space of 10,000 square feet total. So we're not talking
Yeah.
about these large conferences, but enough, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
based on two floors to floor 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I could see smaller programs really fitting in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I did the site tour. I'm glad it was something that I was able to do, because honestly, you pass by so many hotels and you just you you don't know. You don't know until you go in there. Another thing too is, just for me, just planning wise, is thinking about utilizing them for some of these event only spaces. They rent out their dining room that they have breakfast, and they
Uh-huh.
don't do any dinner service, so it's available in the evenings.
Okay.
So, and that could be something of, talking about, a value too, because
Mm-hmm.
if they're saying that, we can open our restaurant for a private event, it may be a little bit cheaper than doing a whole, meeting room rental.
Yep.
So good options there. So yeah, good site visit. Am I giving you enough information? I'm like,
Wow, because I'm gonna ask you
I
some
know,
questions, huh?
like, is that enough? Can I move on?
I'm gonna
Can I move
ask
on
you
to food
some
and drink?
questions. What about who's your sales contact? You know who your sales contact is? Give them a little shout out.
Shout out to Andrew.
Andrew. Shout out to
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, all right.
He's been there 3 years.
For
Uh,
years?
3.
Oh,
He's
for three
he's
years.
on his
Okay.
third year. And
Okay,
what we have
Andrew.
in common is that our parents both live in South Carolina.
Oh,
His mom
wow.
is in Columbia, and
Okay.
mine's in Charleston. He's like, oh, my
Okay.
parents. He's like, this is the room my mom stays in when she comes. So of course I need to know where your mom's coming from. So that's how that conversation happened. And
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Was it
Well,
a suite? Was it a
when I
suite that
stay
your mom
here,
stays in?
it was a yes, it was a king suite. It was like in the corner. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, when I want to do a staycation, I want to be in mom's room.
Okay.
He made it a point to say, this is where my mom stays. I was like, okay. But interesting too is, they start with the king is standard, very nice size king. And the difference between rooms, because they're all the same sizing, they're all the same setup, is the view. So whether you're on a low floor or high floor is going to be the difference in, cost. But to know that, and that's something I think about too, if I'm bringing in a program where it's rooms, and the second somebody knows that someone else is getting a different room than them, it leads to an issue. So knowing that they have a consistent set of rooms.
Yes.
Now they might fight on the high floor, low floor, but at least they know they're all the same if you're starting at the king run of house room. And then obviously they have junior suites and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So you definitely are thinking about bringing something to that. Your clients could use that hotel.
Yeah, I'm glad it's on the option now. I really didn't have it on the radar. So
okay, what made it on the radar? Why is it on your radar now?
Because there's it's flexibility in different programs. So I do a dinner program, private dining, and so the private dining room is again same as their hotel, nice, bright, airy, right off the main lobby, but that can be used as a private event. It's not, because I do little smaller events, it's not overwhelming. I think when you get a lot of these Chicago hotels, because they're high rising and, it's a Marriott Marquis or JW, where it's just so much, it's massive. And I feel like putting a smaller mid-sized group in there, you don't get, lost in there. I mean, the meeting spaces are second, third floor. You can't get lost. You can't miss it. They also have where you can do private dining in their other restaurant that serves like happy hour and dinner, so you can do a breakfast event. Again, the windows outside, because everybody wants to do an outside rooftop event, patio event until it gets really hot, and then you're like, okay, but you still want the windows and feel like you're outside. So I feel like it just had a really good vibe. They also do an event called the Untea service. So instead of high tea,
instead of high tea, it's
still
Untea.
Instead of high tea, it's the tea is swapped out for champagne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's like Untea, but and then they serve light bites, and that's something that can be customized per group. So that's something.
Okay. What did they serve you guys when you were there, or was it just you, or was it a whole?
So, like I said, I did a site tour before the event that I was going to.
Okay.
So the event was their take on a street festival. So the Fête de Musique. So basically, it just had a DJ entertainment. It had a few local vendors, and then it had food and drinks right outside their patio outside. Okay. And really great weather. And that experience was great because I got to meet the chef, and we talked briefly about how he's very adamant of using food to tie in the theme of the event. He made it a point to say, I don't like doing plain old chicken. I was like, well, I don't like eating plain old chicken. So the food laid out just really complemented the event. It was fresh. We had strawberry salads and squash, and I think you would have some great options.
Oh, really? So, I'd have been happy. I'd have been satisfied.
I think so.
Okay.
So, light bites, and then they had some, drink vendors there. So it was nice. It was nice, like more of a patio event, and so that's what I was there for. But it was good to combine it all in one.
Okay. We're on with Miss Tiffany. Mondays are devoted to Miss Tiffany on the daily check-in. So she's talking about her experiences at the Sofitel in Chicago. Okay, yeah. So overall it was good. The food was good, but some told me, a little bird told me you left early. Is that true?
I mean, you don't have to close down the event. You acting like I just did a drive-by. Like, yeah, I mean, I had another event to go to. So,
okay. You get that
Let's see.
Uber credit? They give that Uber credit over there?
Who is they?
The the Sofitel.
No.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I'm just
No.
asking. I'm just
No. I feel
asking.
like
Okay.
that's a special case. I feel like if you're paying, to go to, I don't know, like workshop, because I mentioned Swoogo did that. They gave me a Uber credit to go home.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't see
So
that
that's not
as.
a thing. That's just
I don't
that's
think that
something
has
that just
happened
happened.
often. No.
Oh, okay. And
No.
what
I don't
she's
look
talking
for it.
about, okay, what she's talking about is I'm always, what entices people to go to,
Oh, yeah.
to go to these things. And we
Yeah.
had talked about what some hotels or some events will offer you, like in Chicago, which is it is more walkable and less drivable, meaning
Yeah.
people have, it's a downtown area. So, you would want to get in like a Uber or a Lyft or whatever to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
And sometimes they entice you by sending you an Uber credit. Like, we're going to give you, $50 Uber credit to come to our event, and that probably will get more people to come because of that. Right. So because I know that happened to her at least once there in Chicago. So every time she goes to an event, I'm always going to ask, did you get an Uber credit? Because I want to know what enticed her to go to this thing.
Yeah, it's so funny too, because now it's going to be in my mind. Like, well, should I go? Oh no Uber credit. Well, and I think too, because shout out to Visit Philly, because I think they were the first ones to do that. But I think was it last year? I think seasonally too. I mean, if you're trying to do an event in the dead of winter, like you need to come with it. Like, why to bring people out their house and make it very convenient. In the summertime, I think people tack on, going to events on, and planning their day around it. But you make a good point. Like, what does entice you to go out to an event? Because you don't go to too many networking events, but when you do,
Yeah, I mean, it's normally, well, there's something that's enticing me to go. Like, I went to a HSMII that I hadn't been
yeah.
in 7 years.
And what made you
But
go?
it was the topic. The topic is
Okay.
because it was not local. It was in Buena Park, which is several cities over, right? It probably
Mm-hmm.
took me uh 30, 45 minutes to get there, right? So, and this was like a 3 hour thing, but they serve lunch and whatever, which is fine. And I paid to go, right? Because that's part of what, and that was fine, but it was a topic. The topic was about AI. So I've been doing this whole 5-part series on AI in the sales department, right? And the subject came from the topic that I got from them that they had talked about, AI and some of the things you need to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. I mean, it was beneficial that I went, but I hadn't been to that event in 7 years. So, kind of shame on me because I got to rekindle some relationships that I had with people I hadn't seen in a while. And then I got to, start some new relationships with people that I know on LinkedIn, but didn't know in person. So I actually met them in person, which is a good thing. So, and then now I'm thinking that, maybe the next one I'm going to try to attend as well. So,
So
because
you would go next time regardless of the topic, because now like.
yeah, I would probably go regardless of the topic because now it's all about the people
Yeah.
and the relationships that I kind of, say left behind, but yeah, I hadn't seen people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I travel a lot too, where I was traveling a lot the last several years trying to build this business, right? So I didn't really have time to go because I was never in town and I had forgotten about it. But shout out to Terry Oronato for continuously sending out emails because I did it at the last minute. I'm like, the thing was on
Communication.
Wednesday, and I think I committed on Monday. I'm like, or Tuesday, maybe the day before. I said, you know what? Let
That's
me go
last
ahead
minute.
and do this. So if I hadn't got that last email, I know I wouldn't have gone. So Terry, thank you so much, Terry, for doing that. And that's what it's all about.
Event communications. It does work.
That's right,
Yeah.
communication.
You can't
And
just send that one email and expect people to jump at it.
exactly. That it did nothing for me. They probably had to
Right.
send like 5, right? Or I had to see it at least 5 times before
Yes.
and that last one came. I was like, you know what? AI. And I probably wasn't even paying attention to the topic at first either.
Right, right.
until that last thing and said AI. And I was just probably having a conversation with somebody about AI. And I'm like, you know what? I need to know what I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's why I went. So
Oh, okay. So that's
there you
good.
go.
Good to
There
know.
you go.
Well, yeah.
That's
So, the topic matters too. Like, so,
yes.
when we talk about bringing people out, and it has to resonate with people. Because if you just say,
Yes.
come to
Definitely
network.
does. Definitely does. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Okay, okay. Real quick shout out to what does that say? S Burum or Suburum? Something. I don't know. Travel Girls YS. Hey, Travel Girls YS. Marsha. Hey, Marsha. Appreciate you guys there over there on Instagram. So I appreciate that. So once again, we have an Instagram audience, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and then we have what's the other one? LinkedIn. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
There you go. There you
Place
go.
on LinkedIn.
So okay, what else? Okay, so you went to that one event at the Sofitel. Sofitel's great. Okay, we know you got the kind of you got Sofiteled, as you were there.
Yes, I did.
So now you know what that brand is about, or at least the one in Chicago. You got a
Yeah.
contact there, Mr. Andrew. You met the chef. He made whatever the heck he made. I don't even know what
Uh,
it was.
delicious cuisine. I think I left too soon too, because I think they had actual meals, like heavier meals. I was there with the salads and the appetizers and the past
Oh,
apps.
okay,
Yeah, but
okay, okay. Well, you got to
no,
go back.
I
Then you have to go back.
yeah, maybe,
Very good, very
but
good.
yeah,
Okay, and then what else? Where'd you go after that?
I went to it's called Thursday Therapy, and that's
Thursday therapy. What?
yeah.
At your therapist's
You
office? I
know what?
mean,
I don't know why it's called that,
I'm
honestly, but
okay with you going to therapist, but do we need to talk about that
so
here?
it is a monthly networking event for event industry professionals, and it's very
Okay.
heavily geared towards the wedding industry. I think I'm very one of the few kind of corporate planners, but
Uh-huh.
it's an event I've been going to for years before I discovered other events, other networks. It was kind of
Okay.
like my first introduction. And they would go to a different venue every month, the third Thursday of every month. And this one happened to be at a hotel called the Guest House, which is a
Mm-hmm.
25-room boutique, independently owned hotel that I didn't realize existed. That's north of downtown, so it's actually north of me, and it reminds me of more of a cozy B&B.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's you walk in the lobby, it's this living room, like it's someone's living room. And what they do is they very big on supporting local. So they have the local Koval, the gin that is made in Chicago. It's
Mm-hmm.
available to buy. I almost bought some. I was like, no, Tiff, you don't need it. But I almost did because I was like, oh. They had the little samples, and that it's not cheap when you go to Benny's and get it. But they have all of these little different products that are local, and it's really talked with the general manager there, and that's very intentional. And their rooms are either 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom rooms, so it does attract a lot of multi-generation families, social weddings. But with these growing retreats, I find that would be an interesting market. So I'm glad I got a chance to look at that. And I just found out they're on the list. um, I posted it on my LinkedIn because I'm trying to be better on that. um,
Mm.
they're
Um,
on the 35 best hotels and hospitality list. And I was like, okay, go ahead now. So yeah.
hmm.
Yeah,
What's that based on what criteria? Do you know?
based on hospitality, based on how people feel when they walk in. I like it. So it's not a Forbes, it's not a triple
Okay.
A
Is
diamond
that just
list.
Chicago hotels?
It's the Condé Nast list.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right. Well, okay. If you Condé Nast, then
I
okay.
know. I was like, okay,
Then
go
you're
ahead now.
you're a
So
big
yeah, Guest
deal
House is
then.
on there, London House is on there, the Gwen. So a lot of Nobu, a lot of really um, name recognition type hotels. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, do
I'm
you do weddings? Did you do weddings at
no,
one time?
no, not ever. No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
just don't. I mean, we're getting on a
You
whole
don't
different
have
subject.
to. I mean,
I
I'm
don't
just
know why you
asking
would
you.
even bring it up. I don't have the
Hey,
capacity.
it was a short answer. You said no. Let's
Because you
move
brought
on.
something up. Like, there's no way I could do a wedding and handle somebody's like just issues for that wedding. You know what I mean? You
I
talking about
don't know.
therapy
Yeah, you need some therapy after that.
after
Yeah.
that, right? So no, but I do appreciate the wedding event professionals there, because when I'm looking for a unique venue and I can reach out and be like, hey, do you know anything about this? They do. They know the insides and out of the peninsula, all the high end hotels. I mean, they're in the hotels more than I am. So I do appreciate
Hmm.
that group there. So shout out to Thursday Therapy. And it's free. It's a free event
They
open
have
to
food
anybody.
there? They have food?
So the food, yes, but the food is from like the vendor, whoever
Okay.
the sponsoring catering company is, and that's great too, because you get to try the food and say,
Yeah.
oh, you know what, I want to make sure we
Yeah.
stay connected.
It don't matter
They
who
had
paying
entertainment,
for it, who
Patty,
bringing it, as long as there's food there. Right? Don't matter
right?
who's bringing it, who
No
why it's
matter
good.
what. And then they bring on other vendors that you wouldn't have known about. There was a great saxophonist. I was like, well, you know what? Let me get your card. There was someone that has a photo booth. So yeah, really good, kind of just low key
Okay.
event.
Why are you lower than me? I just noticed that, and I know I asked you to, you
Oh
know,
my gosh, Russell, calm down.
okay. I don't know what's going on
Calm
with
down.
that. Let's
Calm
stop
down.
doing that. Okay.
Calm down. Here,
Stop playing
let me do an
games
adjust.
with your height. I don't know what's going on.
Or I swear we're talking about event stuff and you want to just segue.
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
even in events, the height isn't, if you have
Okay.
things that are not level,
Okay,
people
I
don't
fixed it.
like that.
All right.
Okay. People can see it. They're like, why is Russell up here and she's down there? Anyway, so I corrected it. Okay, good. Good, good. Okay, let me tell because you're done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you gotta get, are you
Unless
not
you had
done? If you're not
you
finished, tell
no,
me.
I am. I'm like, do you have unless you have something for me? But yeah, I was just sharing. I'm just sharing.
No,
You know, I could go
that's
on and on and on and
That's what this is
on.
all about. Well, yeah, well, hopefully it's more exciting than the stuff you just did mention. Do you got something else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm gonna tell you about this hotel I stayed in. Okay, so
Okay.
like I said, we drove up and flew back. Okay, so we
Sure.
drove up to Phoenix from LA. This was late Saturday. Okay, and then we check into this. We purposely wanted a hotel that was next to the airport because we had an early morning flight. Okay, so our flight we had to be the shuttle left at freaking 4:30 this morning. Okay,
Hmm.
so so I can just imagine being somewhere else, and we didn't have a car at that point because the son had the car, so that's it. Okay, the car is gone, so we needed a place to be close to the airport. So stayed at there, and I don't mind sharing the brand here, okay?
Uh-oh.
Because this is going to be one of those, and hopefully some housekeeping people or some overall managers are listening to this, okay? Because this was not a good situation for me,
Uh-oh.
okay? So anyway, I mean, it wasn't well. You'll see. I mean, to me, it was not good, but some people, other people, are like, "Oh, I don't see what the problem is." But okay, so it's the Spring Hill Suites, Phoenix Airport. Okay,
Okay.
so okay, I've thrown the name out there. All right, let that percolate and marinate.
Oh, it's serious.
So, so we went and checked in. Okay, check-in was okay. Check-in was normal. It was check-in. It was a check-in at the key. And then as I'm going to the hallway, now I'm looking at everything, right? And most people probably wouldn't catch some of the things, but there was some obvious stuff that was just there, right? And even before I got into the elevator, because we're on the fifth floor, it's only 5 floors at this hotel. We're on the fifth floor, but I'm looking down the corridors, and I see stains and spots on carpet. Okay, and I'm
Ah.
like, oh my god, okay. So the elevator door opens. The elevator is filthy. It hadn't been vacuumed probably in days or weeks. You know what I mean? And those things they stick out. They're obvious. But this hotel was packed. It had to be close. If it wasn't sold out, It was close to selling out. And I mean, it's by the airport. I understand that. So a lot of airport hotels get a lot of use, and but that's no excuse. Okay, I
None.
worked in as a housekeeping manager. I worked in at least one of the busiest in the system with the Courtyard system, which is part of Marriott as well. LAX, right? It was like number 3 in all the Marriott Courtyard system, right? And we made sure that place was clean, was spotless, because back then we took that stuff serious, right? And I think now, even these days, everybody gets the guest service scores, or they get the evaluations after you check out or whatever.
Yeah.
And believe me, when I get it, I'm not gonna be kind on it, because the hotel, and I ain't got to the room yet. Okay, I'm just telling you, the hallway on the first floor was dirty, spotty. Get in the elevator's worse. Okay, all in the corners. Okay, get up to the 5th floor, same theme that was downstairs, spots on the floor. Get into the room. The room was okay. You open the door, and it just didn't pop for me. I mean, I've been in, and this is a select service hotel, or they call it select service.
Yeah.
And I've been in many select service hotels, and a lot of them present themselves very well. Okay, they're clean. They're there to serve a purpose. You can tell people take pride in cleaning and being at that hotel. I didn't see any of that at this hotel. Okay, the beds were made up, but they weren't like made up where it's like tight, and like the bedding is no wrinkles. It's just kind of tight and snug, right? You can tell. You can walk in and see, like, okay, these housekeepers, they like what they do, or they're on it, right? You can just tell, right? But it wasn't like that. I just got this feeling like, this is not good. This is not good. And on part of the couch, there was a stain on the couch too.
Man.
And okay, and then get to the bed. Okay, it's 2 beds in this room. Okay, one of them has, and I'm gonna say, a divot in the mattress.
What?
Instead of a firm, flat,
yeah,
the lines, and it's like this. Well, I couldn't see it until I got in the bed and I sunk in. I'm like, what the hell is this? Now I'm livid. I'm already feeling some kind of way, right? But at that point, I'm just pissed off, right? I'm like, well, there's another bed in there. I can get in the other bed. Okay, we can get in the other bed. I don't have to even worry about that. So, but it just set the tone for this whole. Yeah, and I was only there. We're only there. Now, mind you, we checked in late. Okay, so I'm talking like close to midnight. Okay, Sunday. We woke up there, but we went to my son's house. So, so we weren't there all day. Okay, we left, say, I think we left, say, 11 o'clock at 11 a.m. We left at 11 a.m. Didn't come back to probably 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. So we actually didn't stay in their room yesterday, until, from let's say 7:30, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 3:30 when we left.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the tone was already set, and now that was the room. Okay. As we are leaving.
Oh
okay,
God. So there's
we
more?
are leaving. We're leaving. Okay. We're going to the front desk. I got my keys. I want to check out, to do the proper thing to do. And I'm in 521 checking out. Well, the guy, the night auditor, shout out to any night auditors out there, but make sure you listen to this. Dude is there asleep.
Like straight up sleeping, not like. Well,
No.
You get tired.
Not even in the back. We're looking for the dude in the back. No, he's at the desk on a chair. He's like this.
Oh, wow.
And it takes 2 attempts to wake him up.
Stop.
Wake him up.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me. And, and I just want to check out. Oh yeah,
Oh
he's all
goodness.
incoherent and everything,
Yeah,
and
you
I'm like,
woke about his slumber. He was getting
it's
it.
that's ridiculous.
Oh,
And then, of
wow.
course, okay, so the shuttle driver is there. So she does her job. She's taking us to the airport. She's gonna take our bags and she puts them on the bus. Okay, we get on the bus or the van, and there's another guest in front of me that she was trying to get the guy to wake up too, right? Well, he didn't wake up for her. I was a little louder, and so he woke up, right? But I'm talking literally, I don't know, no more than 3 feet away. This guy is right because
Yeah.
he's just on the other side of the desk, and she couldn't get him to wake up. So anyway, so we're talking about that on the bus. See, that's another thing. Like planners talk, guests be talk among
Absolutely.
themselves too, right? So the guests like, yeah, I was there for I don't know, at least 5 minutes, and he wouldn't wake up. I thought something was wrong with him. And then the van driver is listening, right? And she says, I tell management all the time. He does this all the time. I've been here 17 years. I've been doing this for 17 years.
What?
And the management doesn't care. That's what she said. She said the management doesn't care because I tell them that he sleeps all the time. He's not, he said he's in charge of the coffee, making sure the coffee is fresh and hot. They said they serve coffee 24 hours, the whole day, right?
Yeah.
His job when he gets in at 7 is to change the coffee and make sure it's there. And the lady, the guest, the lady that was ahead of me, she said, "Yeah, I tried to get some coffee and it was cold." In
Ugh.
one of those, those
So you know
thermal.
it's been there for a while.
He said it wasn't even warm. It was cold.
Gosh.
So I'm like, and that's the responsibility of this guy that was there sleeping. Okay, so he not only does the night audit, which is that whole process of reconciling rooms and all this kind of stuff, make sure payments there and all that stuff, and he also in charge of make sure the coffee is there and is consumable, I guess, is hot or what fresh or whatever. He
Wow.
didn't do any of that. I was so disappointed. I was already disappointed before, but that just put it over the top for me. I'm like, and not that I'm saying, because I've been to many Spring Hill suites and they've all been good. And that's one thing about me, Russell Wolf Hotels, right? Doesn't matter the hotel. Doesn't matter if it's a luxury hotel like we talked about, the Sofitel. Doesn't matter if it's a select service hotel like we're talking about right now. It doesn't matter. Cleanliness and being attentive and not sleeping on the job, all that matters, right?
Absolutely. Oh
It's
my goodness.
absolutely ridiculous. And so I can't wait to get that. I cannot wait to get that guest survey.
I mean, and everything seems to line up with the shuttle driver saying management doesn't care because clearly they're not going to do anything about it. Because I was going to ask you if you brought these concerns to the hotel before leaving, but
who was I going to bring it to? The guy that was asleep?
Is that the only person?
This was at 4:30.
Well, no, I'm talking about when you checked in, though. That whole experience of your room and
when I checked in, this didn't occur. Remember?
Yeah.
This was after we were checking out.
Oh, well, I'm talking about all the stuff you noticed, the stains and all that, and
the stains are
they're just
that's something that has to start at the top. That's not something on the weekend. I'll tell you this right now. Normally, there's no presence of a general manager on the weekends in any hotel. Okay? So normally they're off, right? But I can tell it didn't matter because I know that general manager has seen those spots. I know that housekeeping manager has seen those spots. I mean, there's no way you can be in any position, a manager position, and not see those things. So there's multiple managers that are there that have seen all this stuff. And obviously the front office manager has allowed this guy, this auditor, to sleep because there has to be constant complaints. This stuff doesn't happen without being any complaints there, right? So this is one of these hotels that's either mismanaged, undermanaged. There's a lot going on there, and that I saw, right? Like I said, as a housekeeping manager, man, there's no way none of that stuff would be happening. You know, elevator dirty, the
Right.
spots. I mean, those things can be treated. I mean, all those things can be treated. They all have equipment to do it. I know they do. It's a Marriott, so they're held to a higher standard than some of
Yeah.
the other brands, but obviously not that particular hotel. Now, even within Marriott hotels, there's always going to be a couple of hotels that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
But that's our job as guests to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we witnessed. This is ridiculous. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Not because I want something back, because I don't want anything back. I want it to be better for the next person.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm going to be at that hotel. Well, no, I'm not going to be back at that hotel.
Hey, what about to say? There's no way you should come back.
Yeah, there's other Marriotts in the area, or there's
Absolutely.
other hotels that are next door that I could have chosen. But knowing that the product, that I've used that product before. I've used it Spring Hill Suites before, so
Yeah.
I had no reason to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to stay at that hotel again." And one is not indicative of how the other ones will be.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't.
Some could be franchised, some could be owned by other companies and management companies
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's like I said, it's our job as consumers to voice our opinion on what's going on at this particular hotel, and then let people know that this is what's going on. This is ridiculous. So, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one that that have said something, that will say something to them about this. So, but yeah, it was absolutely, absolutely. I'm laughing now, but I was so ticked off. I was so disappointed, and all of it, I was just disappointed. But you got to laugh about this stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
he was asleep. I mean, he was out. I never seen anybody sleeping like that on the job. Where you had to call him twice.
Yeah, this was painful to hear, like just to even listen to, because oh my goodness. And coming from you, I mean, because like you are pretty easygoing, and I say that because you know how like look, if something's off, I want to change my room, like you. So the fact that all of this is coming from you, and it's just unacceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
And I could have been one of those to say, "Oh, I want another room," but I peeped out that this hotel the parking lot was full. So which
Yeah.
tells me that was probably close to selling out anyway. So, and I'm sure that there's been some more issues that I probably would have come across if I saw all those issues. If I saw before I even got to the airport, there's spots everywhere. Okay. Before I even got to the elevator, not the airport, before I got to the elevator, there were spots everywhere. And get in the elevator, there's trash in there and it's dirty.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? You get up to my floor, get off the elevator bank. There's spots on that carpet as well. I get to my room, there's a spot on the couch, one side of the couch, and it's just not a tidy room. It was not, you can just tell there's not a lot of care there. A lot of care there. Okay, so that's it. I mean, anyway, hold on one second. I see a question here or something. Marsha E says, "Is this a private owned property since no one cares? But they're not representing anyone in a positive light at all. That's disgusting." And the bed? Yeah. Well, I don't know who owns it, but see, what people don't realize is that the name on the building, it does not necessarily mean that's who owns or manages that hotel. So, we all know about franchises, right? So Marriott, this is Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, but that doesn't mean that Marriott manages it or owns it. I would more than likely say Marriott has nothing to do with this hotel other than it has a Marriott on the sign. Okay. But they do hold their franchisees to a high standard. Okay. And they do want to know these things. That's why they have the guest surveys that go out. As soon as you check out, there's a guest survey that pops up in your email, right? Because I've been in hotels where, and thank God it didn't happen, but they were threatening to take the brand away. I mean, that's how strict Marriott is. It was a courtyard I worked in. I was
Okay.
brought in as a director of operations to get things straight because they're about to snatch the courtyard name off of it, right? Because it was in the tank. It was like in the 60% range, and you're supposed to be 76% or higher is passing. It was in the tank for like months. And when I got there, they gave me 6 months to get this thing back up to 76%, or they're going to take the flag off of it. It was going to be whatever, the no name hotel.
The no name hotel.
That's what it was going to be. And so we had to work hard. I had to work with, all the departments. Hey, we need to make sure we do this. And we did get it up. We did get it up to 70, probably 70, probably at 76, right? So probably got it to 76. And it took us off this list. But I worked at the Sheraton, and when Marriott took it over, out of 300 Sheratons, it was number 300. And as far as guest service scores, it was at the bottom. But I wasn't in operation. I was in sales, but the operations people got it together at that point, and they got it off that list. But yeah, I mean, Marriott takes this stuff very serious. But that's why what I'm saying is, when you get one of these things, when you do stay at a Marriott product or a Hilton or whoever else that gives you these guests, give you an opportunity to talk about your stay, make sure you're honest on those things. It's not about, I'm blowing, I don't want to be a whistleblower. No, sometimes you have to be, okay? Because you don't want it to happen to the next person, right? So, and that's how I look at it. So
I'm curious to see if they respond back when you do get that. Because that's another thing too. Are you taking responsibility and actually,
yeah,
and not just the blanket apology? Like, are you, oh, we're sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we'll see.
Oh, that sounds awful. Well, it needs to be said though, because I mean, we talk about these hotels, and when the service.
If I'm on this show talking about this crap like that, I mean, it really has to get me,
clearly.
Yeah, and that just
you name dropped and everything. I was like, this is going to be serious.
Yeah. I normally, and I purposely did not take photos of this hotel, because if I taken photos, I'll be showing them right now. And I said, no, that's not. I don't want to do that, but I do want to mention it.
Exactly.
I'll paint the picture for you though. I mean, I painted the picture with stains on.
Did
obvious stains on. On the carpet, and those things, like I said, I know those things can be fixed because I've done it before, so, but there's a lack of management there. There's a lack of managers that care, and there's a lack of employees that care, because like I said, you can just tell from how the bed was made that they're just going through rooms. And sometimes
and see, that's what
can be like that. Sometimes airport properties can be like that because airport properties get beat up the most.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of turnover. Normally, the average on a regular hotel is like maybe 2 days, right? People stay for 2 days. On an airport property is 1 to 1.5 days.
Yeah, just turning.
So which means there's a lot of turnover, and people are, a lot of times you got flight attendants that are banging stuff. Not just saying that the flight attendants do this, but flight attendants go in and out quickly. Yeah. They're only there in a hotel like this for maybe 1.5 days as well, right? So there's a lot of banging, a lot of people spill stuff. People don't get it up, meaning the hotel doesn't get it up like they should because they think they're just too busy. And it could be a staffing issue too. But
I was about to say,
I'm not trying to give anybody excuses. I'm not trying to give anyone excuses, because I just think the management does not care. And I will walk the property every single day, no matter what hotel, no matter what position I had. I walked the property every single day to see what deficiencies were going on. And I would alert whoever, if it was the front office manager, if it's the housekeeping manager, the general manager, hey, this is what I just found. Boom. And they knew my background, right? So you can't put nothing over on me. I know exactly what's going on and how you need to get this taken care of. But it's up to them. It's their responsibility to do it. And I guarantee you, a lot of stuff has fallen on deaf ears, and something needs to change over there. Something needs to change. But anyway.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. Well, yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So there you go. That's it. Okay. Well,
Wasn't expecting that, but thank you. Thank you for that insight.
Of course, that's what we do.
But you know what? I need a part 2. So you let me know when that survey comes out and what they say about it.
Yes, ma'am. You will get a part 2 when if they do respond and say something about it.
Exactly.
And they may not, because a lot of times the Marriott thing, they don't. I mean, they may contact them. They may not let us know, but they'll contact them because, like I said, the guest service scores are a big thing. Definitely a big thing. But how do they hold them accountable though? And they'll contact the management company too, like, okay, the management company, hey, this stuff is going on. You need to take care of this. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay. We will see. Anything else, Miss Tiffany?
I think we're good. I'm gonna pop off and get to my next.
Okay, that's right. You got something else going on here, huh? You got meetings and stuff.
I know.
Trying to make that money. Okay, go ahead and make that money, Tiffany. So anyway, well, thank you guys so much. This is the Daily Check-In with Russell of Hotels with guest host Miss Tiffany English. She comes on every Monday. Normally we'll do this at 9:00, and I think we'll go back to the regular schedule at 9:00 next week. Is that okay with you, Tiffany?
It is, but I just want you to know it's my birthday eve.
What today is?
No, next week.
When's
my birthday is June 30th on a Tuesday. But I don't have any plans on Monday, so I'll be here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like, you're gonna be doing something.
What do you mean? Yeah, why did you say it like that?
Yeah, like you'll be here. I mean,
goodness. Anyway,
what you got to do? What you got to do? Okay, so happy birthday next week. Unless I forget, I may forget.
Yeah, let's not forget. Well, I'll remind you next week.
How are you gonna be? Can I ask that?
No.
Can I ask that question?
No, you can't.
I think I have a guess though. I have a guess.
No.
I have a guess because you told me the year that you were born.
Did I?
Yeah, and I don't think you meant to tell me, but you did. And next week I'll ask you if it's true.
Oh goodness.
If I'm right, not necessarily if it's true. Am I right? So anyway, all right. You guys have a great week. Happy birthday week to Miss Tiffany coming up.
Thank you.
So that's it. And shout out to the Sofitel in Chicago. You guys did a great job. Just make sure you do some Uber credits next time for Miss Tiffany.
Oh my gosh.
And the other place, what'd you call it? The
guest house.
The guest house. And what was the name of the therapy session? The therapy session at the guest house?
Oh, look at you remember. Thursday therapy. Every third Thursday.
Thursday therapy for meeting and event planners?
For wedding and event industry.
Oh, that's right. That's a wedding. Yeah. We don't do that. You don't do
that.
You really didn't want to go to that.
But no, they are my friends. They're real cool.
They're your people.
They're my people. A lot of times we share a lot of the same vendors, so it makes sense.
Okay.
They just don't do the contracts and all that. So yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking questions. Just asking. Okay. So once again, thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Travel Girls YS. Suburum, I don't even know what this says. SBERUMEN. I don't mean to butcher anyone's name, and I apologize if I did. But thank you for joining, and thank you for the questions, Marsha. And that is it. So you guys have a great day, great week, and as always, peace.